I'd like to talk about something else that also happened during the State of the Union as we were watching the president gaslight Americans. There were multiple government websites crashing before they did come back online. It's a little bit mysterious. Some are saying they were down for maintenance. But when you couple this with, Senator, the outage of social media giants on Tuesday, Super Tuesday, a outage of AT&T and major cell phone providers, and the comments last night just from the president about he wants to have competition, not conflict with China. I mean, all of this is making people very, very fearful about our national security and potential for cyber warfare.
Yeah, we're all on the same page on this. We don't know whether it's a coincidence or something planned. We hope it's not. But, you know, we live in a world of technology now that sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we depend on it so much. So hopefully we can get some answers to this. I know it's happening all over the country. But it just gives you kind of an insight of how we're very vulnerable, you know, to outside entities. And hopefully we can come to some kind of agreement of how far we need to go with technology in terms of communications in the future.
There was a moment last night when a Gold Star father was escorted out after protesting, saying some, sharp comments to Biden. Obviously, a lot of emotion there. His son was killed at Abbey Gate. Disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which many say led to the dangers we're in, the perilous times, Senator. The fact he was then charged with a misdemeanor. There's a photo of him that's been circulating about minutes before. This was supposed to be a night where he was going to be included in the State of the Union here. You see Congressman Mike Waltz before. Instead, the story about his son Kareem Nikau will be combined with the fact that his dad was arrested. I don't understand how this administration and the people here behind cannot see this as something that is complete disgraceful and dishonoring to our veterans and their family members.
Well, the Democrats live in another world, another planet. There can't be anything more disastrous than losing a child and losing somebody that you're so close to. And it's just very, very unfortunate that what happened in Afghanistan on Abbey Gate happened. It was pretty much caused by the disastrous planning of moving out. Now, the bomber was identified and was not allowed to be shot before the bomb blew up. So I'm sure that the father here has just thought about all these scenarios, and he just had enough. And I probably would have done a lot more. I would have tried to get to somebody if that would have been my son, because that's devastating. It's just unfortunate this happened. Joe Biden, one of his staff should have told him immediately afterwards what happened. They've taken him in jail. And Joe Biden should have said at that time, get him out of jail, let him go. If he wants to come talk to me at the White House, I'll talk to him as soon as possible. But get him out of jail. This is totally wrong.
Well, instead, not only did he not do that, many say he just went on and was more divisive and delivered a campaign speech, not a State of the Union speech. Before we let you go, your fellow Senator Katie Britt gave the GOP response last night. She's getting some interesting reviews. Some didn't like the fact she was in her kitchen table. Of course, the left will find a criticism about any conservative woman, in my opinion. How do you think she did? Some chatter was that she may have been on a short list and being eyed by Trump as a potential VP. Katie Britt's performance last night, in your opinion, Senator Tuberville?
Yeah, well, considering the circumstances, I thought she did very well. And she's a mom. She's a housewife. She's around people at a young age. And if you just see what the left is doing, they're going after families. They're going after separating families, taking the dad out of the family. They're going after kids in the schools, not allowing them to learn to read, write, and do arithmetic. They're being indoctrinated in all these pronouns and all these books that are in the library about sexuality. I thought Katie was a very good choice. She did a very good job. It's a hard job to do, to come out and criticize, but she had one point to make. She didn't have enough time to go and criticize everything Joe Biden had talked about. She had the narrative of talking about family, and that's what Republicans are for. Democrats are against family. So I thought it was a good narrative. I thought Katie did a good job. And again, it's very hard to do. And unfortunately, people are going to criticize people that do anything in public.
Absolutely. Well said, Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Great to have you in, sir. We hope to see you back here soon.